Gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Griffith, 3 minutes for an opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate this opportunity. I'm here today to speak on H.R. 4701, the Tick-borne Disease Research Accountability and Transparency Act of 2014. I would like to note that my good friend and fellow Virginian, Representative Frank Wolf, is one of the champions of this legislation and has worked tirelessly to raise the issue of Lyme disease as it continues to grow as a problem in Northern Virginia and all across our great Commonwealth. It also gives me an opportunity, Mr. Chairman, to speak on a matter which may seem to be small, appear to be small, but it is a step out of the wilderness for the legislative branch, the People's House, a wilderness that we in Congress over the course of the last 50 or 60 years have willingly wandered into. And while it may appear to be small, I would submit before I go into it that little things mean a lot and that process does matter. I would note that this bill, H.R. 4701, creates a new federal working group. I support these working groups and advisory committees, but these working groups offer us in the People's House an opportunity to reestablish just a little bit of the influence of the legislative branch in our federal government. For too long, Congress has yielded too much power over appointments to the executive branch, and I think it's time that we defend the prerogatives of the legislative branch. To do so, we must first change the culture in Washington, even in small ways, by allowing Congress to control some of the non-governmental appointments to working groups and advisory boards such as this one. Now, I would advocate that it should be a majority of those people, but that may be for another day. If the legislature gets to appoint more members, then when policy suggestions are made, the members will be more likely to involve the legislative branch of government and not just represent the position of the executive branch. Now, I'm a legislator by nature. It's what I have always done. It's what I was called to do. And preserving the powers of the legislative branch, that branch of government closest to the people, is extremely important to me and has always been important to me. I served for 17 years in the Virginia State Legislature. I never thought about running for governor or any other executive office because I'm a legislator. And defending our prerogatives of the legislative branch are extremely important. And if you don't believe me, just ask the governors that I served with, whether it was Governor Gilmore or later Senator Allen, but governor at the time, or current Senators Warner and Kane. Now, as a part of this process, Mr. Chairman, I have asked my staff to draft possible amendments for this bill to have even more legislative appointments, because we must begin the process of standing up for the institution of the United States Congress as the People's House by reasserting our legislative powers over the executive branch and not having unelected appointed officials selecting all these folks who are going to serve on these boards. With that said, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate your indulgence in your time, and I yield back.
Chair thanks, gentlemen, and now yields 3 minutes to the gentleman from Georgia, Dr.